Hi everyone, and welcome back. Today I'm going to make another attempt at recording my thoughts on something called Mgtow. Now, Mgtow is an acronym. It stands for Men Going Their Own Way. Well, for me, personally right now, it's hot as hell in my room. I'm boiling, all my fans are off, I have to drink water pretty constantly. And I've tried to do this video over and over, and I keep losing my train of thought. So I figured I'd try and boil it down a little bit. Instead of making a 40-minute rant that no one's going to watch, I try and boil it down to something a little bit simpler, maybe a little bit more cogent, and try to get to a point. Now, the reason I'm bringing up Mgtow is because it's been off and on a part of my life for the last 2 years, maybe a year and a half. I decided at one point that I liked the philosophy, and I liked some of what I was hearing from some of the people on YouTube and in other places. And so I decided that it actually made more sense. I'd gone through 2 really bad breakups myself, and I found that people that are Mgtows have gone through bad breakups. I mean, why would you be in Mgtow if you were in a good relationship and everything, all of your needs were being fulfilled? Of course you wouldn't. There would be no reason to do anything but, be in that relationship and continue to be happy if that's what makes you happy. But, like most people, I had 2 bad breakups that kind of turned my entire worldview on its ear, and so I had to find some answers, and I found them in many places, and one of them was Mgtow. The core principle really got through to me. Basically, find value in something other than a romantic partner. Don't find value in a woman. Don't do that. Find value in yourself. If you have a woman, it doesn't. The actual core value doesn't say stay away from women, though that is what it has become. The core value is supposed to be women are dangerous to you because you're going to be investing emotional content into them. You're going to be telling them secrets. You're going to be making money for them potentially. You're going to be with this person. They're a partner to you. They're dangerous as hell. Avoid them unless it's a good idea to be with them. And most Mgtow will say it's not a good idea to be with them for various reasons, not just societal reasons, but also personal ones. For me, it was just I just don't see the point. It's just grief, especially if I don't understand the game well enough not to be cheated on or screwed over or lied to. If I don't understand the game well enough to play it and not lose, then why would I play the game? That's the way I look at it. It's basically the idea that I don't want to have to go through more grief and pain. It's a fairly logical conclusion. I'm still open to the idea of having a relationship with somebody and having it work. I'm simply not actively pursuing it. I've gone another way. Now, I've watched, as I said, a lot of YouTube. I've read a lot of things as well. There are some good Mgtow out there. There's one, I'm not sure he's really a good Mgtow, but he definitely talks on the topic a lot, and he's very well versed, and he's logical. He doesn't use emotional appeal too much, though how can you not when you are emotionally invested in what you're speaking about? There's a guy named Computing Forever. He's on YouTube. He makes a lot of good arguments, and I would say he's Mgtow. I don't think he ever claims it. I don't think he claims it anywhere, but I'm pretty sure he is. Maybe he isn't, but he makes a lot of arguments that would actually sway people, definitely swayed me. In fact, one of the better videos is from this year. It's February 1st, 2016. The title is Marxist Feminism, Marriage, and Mgtow. It's actually going to be able to sum up what I think about things a lot better than what I'm doing here. Hopefully I'll be able to add some other facets of my own personal experience to it. But that's a good video. I'll go and put the link in the description of this video. But yeah, that's one. There's a couple kind of peripheral guys. There's also a guy named, see if I can remember his name. Got him on a bookmark, Trevor Freeman. Definitely another one of those Mgtows that doesn't talk about hating women. Just about, like what this video is, on being alone. He basically talks about the fact that he's been alone for most of his life, and part of being Mgtow is just realizing that, the reason you're pursuing those relationships was to avoid being alone. Or in my case, to avoid the fear of death or, the fear of being irrelevant, of not mattering at all to anybody. I matter to myself now, and which is why I no longer think I really need the movement. I don't watch the videos like I used to. I used to watch them fairly frequently. I mean, not religiously, but definitely fairly frequently. And I use that term religiously with every bit of irony dripping off of it. But there are some good ones out there. There are some good Mgtow out there, but the thing is, they're usually fairly small. Computing Forever, if I am not mistaken, is probably one of the bigger ones that's not completely batshit crazy. He's got some 93,000 subs. This Trevor Freeman guy, for the stuff that he talks about that's good, he only has 5,600 subs. I don't agree with either of these guys all the time, by the way. Some of what they say is, it's opinion-based, and some of it's actually not correct, but I still think that they have a better way of talking about it than people like Sandman, but I'll get to that in a second. Another good one to listen to or watch is something like Dr. Randomer Cam, which he's more of an MRA than a Mgtow, but I think he must be a Mgtow because he is living the philosophy. He makes a lot of weird videos, but they are brilliant. They're brilliant. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link to his stuff too. And then there's also Feminism LOL. She makes some really crazy good arguments. They're really good for reference, and they're really good for kind of thought processes and sort of thought experiments. But I wouldn't take her too seriously because she does go down the road that yes, all women are like this. And even though she is a woman, I don't think you can speak for every person on the planet that has a vagina. I can't speak for every man on the planet that has a penis. It's just not... It doesn't work that way. We can say that, groups have a trend, but we can't say, I know what every individual is going to do. There's just no way to do that accurately, and it's disingenuous to try. She doesn't do that too much, but she does it every once in a while. So you got to be careful if you're going to watch her videos. She can suck you right in, and then you're going to end up thinking as cynically as her without all the experience that led her to that, and hopefully still lets her be a good individual, a good balanced individual. I have no idea if she is. I don't know her in real life, but I'm hoping she is. Based off of her videos and her logical arguments, I have to assume she's got some stability, right? Well, if you don't have the same experiences as her, you're going to go into it, find what you need, and it's going to end up biting you in the butt if you come out of it with nothing but hate. So just be careful with that. So she's one I'd recommend, but with a caveat. Just be careful that you don't get sucked in too far, because, it's just a worldview, Take it for what it is, get what's useful and get out. Another one is going to be a guy named Teal Deer, which again, I will put in the description if I can, a link to his channel. He is not a Mgtow, but he argues on things... Well, first off, he uses evidence instead of just opinion and conjecture. He uses evidence for the things he says. He's brilliant at arguing with evidence and actually finding good foundations to stand on in order to say what he has to say. But he also has a lot of things to say about Mgtow, regardless of whether he's specifically saying, today I will talk about Mgtow. No, he actually has a lot of things to say that are relevant to the philosophy and to the movement. But yeah, so he's another good one to check out. So those are the ones that are good. Now, I mentioned earlier a guy named Sandman. He is sort of the Pope of Mgtow on YouTube. And the reason I mention him is because he's the most sensational of the bunch. He has a incredibly weird way of talking to the microphone. He doesn't have any... His rhythm is crazy. His inflection is just crazy. You can never tell if it's him saying it or if he's being satirical. If you want to go take a look at his videos, feel free. There is some useful information in it. Definitely the bits and pieces about being wary of people that you're emotionally invested in. That's stuff you should take away from it that's useful. But there's also a lot of stuff on his channel, and I do mean a lot of stuff that is conjecture-based, is based on bad statistics, or it's just straight-up, made-up pseudoscience bullshit. We're talking tinfoil hat, potato whisperer level of retardation and conspiracy theory bullshit. As an example, there is a video, which I'm probably not going to find a link for because fuck that. You can go look it up yourself if you want to give him views. There's a video he made quite a while back now where he describes the fact that if you have sex with a woman without a condom, she can use chemicals she injects into your penis to control your mind. The chemicals are called copulins. You may look that up if you wish. There was a study done, a very dubious study done by some people in Europe, and it was posted to some weird like Mgtow forum. That's where it looked like Sandman got it when I read the study myself, and it was bullshit. It was complete bullshit. He also uses a lot of statistics, usually statistics about a trend. Like it's like a statistic about the trend the group will actually follow, and then using that to judge the individuals within the group. It's really bad logic. Really bad logic. Now, I'll get back to this in a second, but there's a reason I'm talking about Sandman, and there's a reason I mentioned the other ones first, even though they aren't all perfect. None of them are. The reason I am not particularly happy with people like Sandman, though not specifically only Sandman, is because the philosophies that are part of the movement are useful, and I think really good. I actually think it is a really good idea to spend time alone and to confront yourself, and to confront your own fate, to confront the fact that you will die someday, confront the fact that you may not have all those things you want, that happiness is something you're reaching towards, but is not like actually going to happen just because. To really see all your flaws and to be truthful with yourself, even if you aren't a good person, because a lot of us aren't good people. And we don't see that. We will run from it in every way possible. Go to parties. We will, put all of our work into our work. We will lose ourselves in projects. We'll find relationships. And that's I think, where my own experience went, as I realized I was putting a lot of my own bullshit behind me by running to another relationship over and over again. I mean, I think a lot of people do that. So the reason I really don't particularly like the kind of content that Sandman does, and the reason I don't like content like his from other channels, is because it paints the entire ideal, the entire philosophy in an incredibly, incredibly infantile, hateful light. There's no doubt in my mind that if Sandman believes the stuff he is saying on his channel, that he hates women. I'm not saying that he hates them actively. I don't think he's part of a lynch mob that wants to string them up or something. But he distrusts them to a point that he doesn't see them as human anymore. I'm not saying that he does. I'm just saying that if his content speaks for his own personal, behavior, it's likely his personal behavior involves distrusting women to the point that he doesn't see them as individuals. He sees them as some sort of a hive mind, a group that does not act any differently based on which individual you encounter. That's sexism. That's the worst kind of sexism. It's the kind of sexism that really exists. It's the kind of sexism that feminists will use. Feminists have a problem with. It's the kind of thing that feminists will do to men. They'll say they're all rapists, they're all dangerous, they're all this, they're all that. The most radical feminists think that we should put all men on an island somewhere or kill them all. Why? Because all men are bad. Because they've had experiences with men in their past that have been bad. And those experiences have been repeated over and over again. And so they think that their small sample size, their own life, coupled with whatever statistics they've pulled out of thin air or bad studies or whatever, that justifies being sexist or racist. I mean, that's what's colored their worldview. And again, the reason it bothers me with Sandman, I don't care what he thinks. What he thinks is his problem. He can post whatever he wants, that's fine. The reason it bothers me is because it paints the philosophy itself in a light that makes it very easy to ridicule and very easy to police from the outside and from the inside. It's kind of become a cult, and everyone knows it. Everyone outside, and I suspect even people on the inside, must at least kind of understand that it is very, very culty. You can't be a part of the movement at all unless you are perfectly in line with the philosophies of the movement. I mean, it is the most batshit kind of crazy shit for me to see people react to feminism by basically mirroring it, by aping it. It's so weird to me. But I'm losing track. The reason it pisses me off is because I do think it's a good idea to basically say, listen, I found my own value. It's in myself, and I found happiness through my own personal value. I didn't have to go find somebody else to find happiness. I'm good. I think that's very useful. I also think it's useful to recognize that our society operates on this feedback loop. We are affected as individuals in that we think, a certain way because society tells us that we should. And the thing is that we are also, as individuals, the thing which drives society to do that. I am telling other people that they need to act a certain way, and they're telling me that I need to act a certain way. And so it's not just, society is evil and government's bad, blah, 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 or the individuals are irresponsible, we need to keep them under control. No, it's both, and it's neither, And I think it's useful that we question these things, that we question whether or not men should be used as tools or an asset, whether or not women should be a prize to be won. Not necessarily that we have to do anything about these things. There's no call to action. I don't think that people should stand up and go do stuff like they have the answers and just, blah, blah, blah. No, I think you should question your answers, not go find more answers. I think that that's a responsibility we should take seriously, is that we should question what we perceive to be true. And this is no exception. Now, the reason that I'm saying all this, and the reason that I'm bringing up Sandman, is because he's not the only one, but all of these alpha male, failures, and all of these people that are just angry, they'll use similar tactics. And you'll be able to spot them, too, because they'll call everybody brothers, and they'll of course you're going to defend your own way of thinking, but they'll defend and police their community. And this is the big thing. They all have the answers. They're not questioning things. The people that I think are really dangerous to listen to, they're not questioning things. They have answers. The more useful thing as a person who is looking for the truth is not finding an answer. It's finding the right question to ask yourself, or the right question to ask other people. I know that's a weird thing to say, but honestly, you're going to be providing the answers anyway. You should be providing the answers. It shouldn't be somebody else tells you how it is, and that's the way it is. You provide the answer. A good teacher, a good source of information is going to tell you, this is a question you should be asking. That's my opinion, of course, but if you look at Mgtow, you should ask yourself, what am I getting out of it? Because I think that's the important question. What am I getting out of it? That's pretty much the question I ask about everything in life. I know it sounds very selfish, but if you understand what it means, not necessarily money, but why am I helping this person? Because I want to help this person. I think it would be nice if they got across the street correctly, or if I found their car for them, or something strange like that. Why do I do this job? Because I'm getting paid. Why am I with this person? Because she's awesome, or he's amazing, or I don't know. There's no good reason. Maybe I should break up with him and not be with anybody. What are you getting out of it? What are you getting out of Mgtow? Why are you listening to people in Mgtow? Why? Because no matter how convincing they are, what it comes down to is the evidence that they present doesn't matter. The emotional appeal is what matters. What you're getting out of it, that's what matters. What hole, what gap, what maw is in your life that Mgtow is filling. If it's filling it with answers, if it's filling it with nothing but answers, then you're not growing. You're getting something, but you're not growing. You're just consuming entertainment. At that point, you might want to go start looking for other things, maybe anything but Mgtow, literally anything. Go take Tai Chi or something, find your center somewhere else. Because if an organization or an individual has all the answers for you, they're no longer teaching you, they are now your cult leader.
And that's when you should probably start thinking about bailing. Bail on the cult. And that's kind of what Mgtow's become, in my mind, is a conspiracy theory kind of cult. And it's a real shame, as I said. So, my opinion, go question it. Go find out what it's about. Get what you can out of it. Separate the bullshit. And don't walk away with more hate. I mean, I'm hoping that if you, like me, go into this, you're not going into it to find more things to be angry at or more things to be hateful about. You're going into it, hopefully, to find a better understanding of yourself and to find a better place to stand, and have a good life. Yeah, that's about all I have to say about Mgtow. Am I a Mgtow? Yeah. Am I part of the movement? No. Hopefully I've kind of explained why that is, and, maybe I've helped somebody out, maybe I haven't. So, if you like it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you don't, let me know why I'm a dirty pleb, or tell me why I'm not a real Mgtow. Feel free in the comments. Hope you liked the video, guys. I'll see you another time.